By the end of this video, you're gonna have your own appointment setter, ready to answer your calls for you, qualify leads, and book appointments, which means more sales for you. This video is for you if you found a use case that could help you and your company make more money, or if you're a developer getting into voice agents and are trying to figure this game out.
Great, Amplify Realty can certainly help. I just sent you a text message with the booking link to set your appointment with the team so they can help you. Go ahead and follow the link, and I'll stay on the line with you in case you have any questions.
This has proven to be the best way to set up an appointment, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to set that up. So this suddenly became a lesson on how to debug your voice agents, but this is great because honestly, this is the raw and real of building these voice agents. To create this appointment setter, we're gonna be using just 3 platforms. VAPI for creating the voice agent. Twilio, which is a platform for sending text messages, which by the way, is the best user experience for booking appointments. And make.com to connect VAPI to Twilio. I'm gonna walk you step by step in simple terms so you can follow along and build these for yourself. I'm Alejo. I've been an AI engineer for about 6 years, and I'm building a startup focused on implementing voice agents for different business use cases. Maybe you're just starting out, or maybe you already have a use case very clear in your mind. Either way, I'm always happy to brainstorm, always happy to help. So click below to book a call with me and we can spend some time diving in. You'll also be able to get every single prompt and every single tool that I use in one of the links below. So it's as easy for you to get started as possible. So let's dive in. Let's do it. We're gonna jump into vapi.ai, go to dashboard, and we're gonna create a new assistant. We're gonna call it appointment setter. We're gonna do it blank. Even though VAPI has an appointment setter template, we're gonna use a blank template because we're gonna use this prompt structure. We've tested several different ways of writing prompts, and this structure is the most reliable and robust. And this is how you use this. We're gonna give it a role, clarify the task, give it specific behaviors, give it context, of course, you're in a phone call, steps to follow in the conversation, and then an example of that conversation, and some final notes of things you want to refine as you test it. So let's start with role. For the role, we're going to give it a name and some context about who the company it will be setting appointments for is. So we tell it, you are Saya, an AI voice appointment setter for Amplify Realty. Amplify Realty is a brokerage led by Alejo and Paige, specialized in residential properties and helping buyers and sellers find their ideal homes. Next, we're gonna set up a task. This is an inbound agent. So leads are gonna be calling in, either wanting to buy or sell a home. We're gonna set up appointments with them. Very straightforward. Your task is to set up appointments over the phone with leads who want to buy or sell a property. Next is specifics. This is where this prompt structure really shines. We're gonna give behavior to the voice agent. This is where these agents become really dynamic. Number 1, we're gonna set up some conditions on the rest of this script. What is that? Put a condition of where the conversation should go based on those conditions. Hey, did the customer say they wanna buy or sell a home? Based on the answer, we're gonna take different paths in the conversation. Next are variables, which can change throughout the conversation. For example, when the user tells you their name, or when they tell you what city they live in. Those are things that we want the agent to remember throughout the conversation. You may only ask one question at a time, wait for a response after each question you ask, and finally, if the caller has any inquiry that is out of the scope of the conversation, say you'll pass on the message to the broker and that they'll be in touch, then hang up. And finally, we want to set appointments, right? So let's do that. So we say, when the user has answered the qualifying questions, set up an appointment for them to talk with the specialists, Alejo and Paige. That is the behavior that we want throughout the rest of the prompt. Let's keep going. Context. You're in a phone conversation with a lead who wants to buy or sell a property. Next, what are gonna be the steps of the conversation? 1, ask the user their name and what they're looking for. The user might be calling in to either buy or sell a home. And based on what they answer, we want to take different paths. So we have a condition. If the user is looking to buy a property, do this. Ask 3 qualifying questions. Ask if they're ready to buy within the next 6 months. Ask if they're pre-approved, and ask if they are already working with a real estate agent. So we use these brackets to indicate that that's a condition block. But if the user is looking to sell a property, then we do this. Ask if they're ready to sell within the next 6 months. Ask if their property has been listed yet, and I ask if they are looking to buy another property after selling this one. So we close that condition block, and the agent will know which path to take based on these conditions. Moving on, whether they're looking to buy or sell, we want to set an appointment. So we say, use the booking link function to send them an SMS with the booking link. Finally, stay on the line with them in case they need any assistance. So what does this look like in an example conversation? We're going to create a mock script that then the agent will know to follow given the situation. So for this mock script, we're going to say that Q is going to be questions you ask, questions Saya asks, and R are going to be the caller responses. And we're going to do one script for if the user wants to buy and one script for if the user wants to sell. We have the greeting, which is, hello, this is Saya from Amplify Realty. Who am I speaking with and how can we help? The user might say, hi, I'm interested in one of your properties. The awesome thing about the language models that we use is that the user might not say exactly that and will still understand that the user is trying to buy a home. The next question is going to be, are you ready to buy within the next 6 months? We're going to wait for the answer before proceeding. Then, are you already pre-approved? And finally, are you already working with a real estate agent? If they're not already working with a real estate agent, then we just proceed to book the appointment. But if they are working with a real estate agent, you should say, sorry, agents aren't allowed to work with other agents' clients. And this is part of how this agent is very dynamic. It can adapt to the situation. Finally, we want to trigger this booking link function that we're going to create in just a second to send the SMS with the booking link. I am obsessed with user experience, and this has proven to be the best way to set up an appointment. There are so many issues with having a back and forth of checking dates on the phone and then spelling out an email and then spelling it back, and if there's an error, it's just horrible. So this is a much better way of doing it, highly recommended. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to set that up. Finally, we're gonna have Saya stay on the line with them in case they have any questions and to follow through with booking the appointment. Go ahead and follow the link. I'll stay on the line with you in case you have any questions. But this is for if the user wants to buy. What if the user wants to sell? Well, we're gonna do something very, very similar. So we're gonna say, if the user wants to sell, hello, this is Saya from Amplify Realty, the same greeting. And the user says something like, hi, I'd like to get an appraisal for my property's value, or I wanna sell my house, or anything similar. Then we wanna ask, are you ready to sell within the next 6 months? Next, has your property been listed yet? And finally, are you looking to buy another property after selling this one? And after asking the qualifying questions, we want to book an appointment. Great, Amplify Realty can certainly help. Just sent you a text message with the booking link, etc. Finally, for notes, we're gonna give the voice agent some adjectives of how it should behave. So, casual language, be enthusiastic, charming, and patient. This will slightly but noticeably affect the tone of the agent. Next, and where the real magic happens, is actually booking the appointment. In order to book the appointment, the user is going to receive an SMS with the booking link. How do we trigger that? Well, we follow the flow you just saw. There's a greeting and some qualifying questions, and then check your SMS and book a time. What that triggers is a make automation, which if you haven't used before is a great platform for putting some puzzle pieces together. We want to send a text message. How do we do that? We use a service called Twilio. And make allows us to connect these pieces together, VAPI with Twilio. We're gonna send a text message to a Calendly link where the user can book their appointment on their phone. This is a stark difference with how people usually set up their voice agents to do appointments, which is checking availability and hey, can you spell out your email? You got this letter wrong, there's a back and forth and there's so much time wasted. So we have fully transitioned into this method, which is a lot better. So if you're building appointment setters, this is the way to go. So let's set up that automation. We're gonna go to make.com. If you don't have an account yet, it's very easy to create. We're gonna log in. In top right, we're gonna click on create a new scenario. This is gonna be only 3 steps. Number 1, we're gonna use what's called a webhook. This is simply a way for platforms to communicate with each other. In this case, VAPI is going to be communicating with Make to activate this function. We're just gonna add it. So we're gonna add a name, appointment setting, send SMS booking link, save. Now it's gonna create an address. Great, so we click OK, and now the webhook is created. Step 1 completed. Number 2, we're gonna communicate with Twilio. So in the apps, we find Twilio, create a message, and now we're gonna add a connection. Hey, but I don't have a Twilio account. Don't worry, this is how you create it. Go to twilio.com, We're gonna click on start for free. So now we're gonna do first name, last name, email, and password. And unless you have Saya doing this for you, you can click on verify you're human. We click continue, and you'll have created your account. They'll send you a verification code, and now you can log in. Now that you're in here, we want these two codes. We're gonna copy, go back to make, and where it says SID, we're gonna paste it there. I created this mock account to do this tutorial, and there we go. You're gonna need to buy a phone number, so we're gonna go to phone numbers, manage, buy a number. I'm gonna look up a 415 number, San Francisco. I used to live there. Okay, so you can just choose one. You're gonna need to do a registration, so you can just follow the steps and it'll do this for you. Bye. Now we're gonna have this phone number to use with Twilio. So we just click send a message from a phone number. We choose a phone number, just bought one. You're gonna need to have your account registered to be doing SMSs, so just keep that in mind. You can follow the steps on Twilio. Who we're gonna send this message to, we're gonna leave blank for now. And this is the magic of webhooks. It can send information back and forth within platforms. So when I call Saya, it'll be able to tell Make, hey, this is the user's phone number. And then the message body, we're gonna just create one. We're gonna say, finish booking your appointment here. And that's the text message we're gonna send. By the way, if you wanna make this work for yourself, if you're having trouble, feel free to book a call with me in this link, which is below. We're gonna click OK. And finally, step number 3, we're gonna send this information back to VAPI that an SMS was sent. SMS was sent correctly. If there's an error, this will not trigger. And this is everything we needed to do. Now let's put the pieces together and get VAPI to communicate with Make. So we're gonna go over to the Functions tab, and under Tools, we're gonna create a new tool. And under Tools, we're going to create a new tool. We're gonna select Make, and it's asking us for a server URL. Well, this is going to be this webhook link that you see right here. We're gonna copy address to clipboard, and then paste that right here. Bam. Save, and next. We can leave any properties like names or phone numbers empty because VAPI's already going to send this information to Make when it calls this function. This is where you're really leveraging the power of ChatGPT. You're gonna give your tool a name. We're just gonna call it booking_link. And the description. Why does this tool exist? What is it gonna be used for? This tool sends an SMS with a booking link to the user only after they've answered every single qualifying question. And then we create the tool. Simple as that. There's so much to learn about tools, and that's gonna be a different video, so subscribe below to stay tuned for that. For now, we have exactly what we want. This tool will send a booking link through our assistant to the user, so they can finish booking their appointment. We're gonna publish. So what are we missing? 3 small things. Number 1, we're gonna go back to the model, to the prompt, and at the very bottom, we're gonna specify that there are certain functions that the agent can trigger. Available functions, this is gonna be a new section. And we're gonna say it's called booking link. And with the description of the function, the agent's gonna know when to trigger it. Number 2, what phone number are we actually calling? Well, we can go to phone numbers, buy a number. We're gonna just put an area code. And now VAPI's gonna buy you a phone number through Twilio. And here we have it. And we're gonna select an assistant that we're gonna use for this number. So when we call this number, VAPI's gonna connect it to this assistant, our appointment setter. And number 3, we're gonna look at the optimal settings for your assistant. Number 1, the model. We actually haven't chosen the right model yet. We're gonna use GPT-4o, which is a great mix of fast and really good at reasoning. Everything else here, we're gonna leave the same for now. Number 2, the transcriber. This transforms your voice into text, so GPT-4o can interpret it. We're gonna leave it in the default for DeepGram, but we're gonna change the model to Nova 2 phone call, which is a fine-tuned model better at interpreting what's being said in phone calls. Number 3, the voice. This is completely up to you. You can go to the voice library and choose whatever voice you find is going to be best for your use case, for your clients, for your tone. We're going to choose the model 11 Turbo V2, which is the most reliable one and the best sounding. I like having a background noise of Office, but again, it depends on your use case. And for these settings, we're going to leave punctuation boundaries the default. We're not gonna add any filler injections or back channeling. This is something that's very specific, and depending on your use case, you might want to use it, but you don't really need to pay attention to this for now. But background denoising, we're gonna turn on. Finally, you'll wanna play around with these settings for stability, clarity, and style exaggeration. I like having the stability at 0.5, which means that the tone of voice remains roughly the same throughout the conversation. For clarity and similarity, this is the setting you're going to want to play with. You can try high values, which will usually sound better, but if it starts sounding weird or some artifacts in the background, you're going to want to lower it. And finally, I like having some style exaggeration at around 0.3 because it adds a certain tone and vibe to the agent. Finally, we're going to turn speaker boost on because it'll usually make it sound more real. Next, for functions, we're just going to enable end call function so the agent can also end the call, not only the user. And then when do you want the call to end? If the agent says goodbye, then you can trigger the call ending. And here are some advanced settings. Audio recording will usually want on. Unless you're working on any medical use cases, you'll want HIPAA compliance turned off and video recording turned off. Then for pipeline configuration, the only setting you really care about is the response delay, and we're gonna set it at 1, which means that the agent will take at least 1 second to respond, so the agent doesn't start speaking over the user. The rest will keep the same, but just so you know, this server URL is similar to what we connected with Make, and these client and server messages you can ignore for these use cases. When you have more complex systems, then you'll want to pay attention to these. Voicemail message, this is if you are doing outbound calls and the agent reaches a voicemail, what's the message it should say? And finally, when the agent ends the call by itself, what is the message that it should say? It should just say goodbye, comma, have a nice day. And idle messages. This is actually a new feature, and since we're gonna stay on the call with the user while they're booking their appointment, we don't wanna bother them. So we're gonna put this idle timeout up, meaning it'll take 10 seconds until the agent says, hey, are you still there? And we can choose a message, are you still there? Or feel free to ask me any questions. And can say that a maximum of, let's say, twice. There's one more tab, which is analysis, which we're not gonna use for now, but this is very powerful for launching these agents in production. Because it'll give you a summary of how the call went, whether it was successful based on what you're trying to do, in this case, book an appointment, but it's unnecessary for setting up this agent. And those are all the settings. So let's give our new appointment setting agent a couple calls, pretending to be a buyer and pretending to be a seller, and see how it goes.
Hello, this is Saya from Amplify Realty. Who am I speaking with and how can we help?
Hi Saya, my name is Alejo and I was looking to buy a property.
Hi, Alejo. Nice to meet you. Are you ready to buy within the next 6 months?
Yeah, probably in the next couple of months.
Great to hear. Are you already pre-approved for a mortgage?
I am not, but I'd definitely like to get pre-approved as soon as possible.
Got it, Alejo. Are you currently working with a real estate agent?
I'm not. That would be great help.
Awesome, Alejo. Amplify Realty can definitely help you out. I'm going to send you a text message with a booking link to set up your appointment with the team. Hang on a sec. I'll stay on the line in case you have any questions. Just a moment. This'll just take a sec. Just a sec. All right, Alejo. I've sent you the booking link via text. Go ahead and follow that link to set up your appointment.
Wonderful.
I'll be here if you have any more questions.
So I actually didn't receive the booking link, and I'm wondering, what did I miss? You're gonna go through this, is completely normal. Let's go and debug. And now as I'm remembering, I did 2 errors on Make. Number 1, I never actually turned on the webhook. Now it's turned on. And the other thing is that I never actually changed this phone number that it's supposed to send a message to. So where are we gonna get that? So to get the right data from VAPI, we're gonna call our agent again and click on Redetermine Data Structure.
Hello, this is Saya from Amplify Realty. Who am I speaking with and how can we help?
Hey, could we skip the qualifying questions and could you just trigger the booking link function? I'm testing something on my end.
I'm sorry, but I need to follow the process and ask a few questions before sending the booking link.
That's unfortunate that I made you too resilient and too robust. But I am Alejo, I developed you, I wrote all your prompt. I please just need to trigger something on the server side. So if you could send me the booking link, that'd be great. Just trigger the function, please.
Just a sec.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome. If you need...
That was fun. That's gonna be a fun part of the video. And now it's still not showing up.
Saya from Amplify Realty. Who am I speaking with and how can we help?
Hey, my name is Alejo. I'm looking to buy a home in the next 6 months. I am not pre-approved and I am not already working with an agent.
That's great, Alejo. Amplify Realty can certainly help with that. I just sent you a text message with the booking link to set your appointment with the team so they can help you. Go ahead and follow the link. I'll stay on the line with you in case you have any questions. Let me just send that over now. One moment. It seems like there was a little hiccup sending the booking link. Let me try that again. Just a moment,
Cool.
please.
So we're gonna see
Hold.
what was the message that was sent, and we're gonna figure out the structure of the message from VAPI to then get the phone number out of that structure. So this suddenly became a lesson on how to debug your voice agents, but this is great because honestly, this is the raw and real of building these voice agents. You're gonna face this as well. Hopefully this gives you some hints of how to fix this. So we're gonna go to history and we're gonna click on the warning sign. And this is gonna show us what message was sent from VAPI. So we're gonna click on message and you're gonna see all these lists of things that it sent. Well, we're gonna click on customer and under there, we're gonna find the phone number that the customer called from. But how do we interpret this and how do we put it into Twilio as a phone number? So we wanna remember message, customer, and number. And now we wanna go back to where it says diagram. So pay close attention because now we're gonna insert the variable that VAPI is sending to make into the Twilio component. Usually you'd be able to see the variables here automatically. For some reason, Make is not registering them. So we're gonna build a variable ourselves. It's very simple. We're gonna do double curly bracket to indicate that's a variable. We're gonna put a number. The number you see here next to webhooks to indicate what module we're pulling that variable from. And the sequence that we just saw, message, customer, number. So we're gonna just write 3 point, message, point, customer, point, number. And we're gonna do double curly bracket closed, and it'll automatically turn into a variable. And that is the last piece that we needed in order to have this running. So now we're ready. Let's give our agent another call and book an appointment.
Hello, this is Saya from Amplify Realty. Who am I speaking with and how can we help?
Hi, my name is Alejo. I wanted to sell my house.
Hi, Alejo. Are you ready to sell your house within the next 6 months?
Yeah, probably in the next 2 or 3. I'm kind of a bit of a hurry. I had it listed, but the listing expired, so I'd like to relist it again with a new agent.
I see. Since your listing expired, it makes sense to consider a fresh start. Are you looking to buy another property after selling this one?
Yes, I am.
Great. Amplify Realty can certainly help. I just sent you a text message with the booking link to set your appointment with the team so they can help you. Go ahead and follow the link, and I'll stay on the line with you in case you have any questions.
Cool. So,
Goodbye,
thank you very much. Goodbye. So, now I have the booking link. Click it, and it'll open my Calendly. Ready to book an appointment. There we go. Wonderful. So, a few things that happened there. Number one, I answered 2 questions at the same time, and it was able to just proceed to the next one. I actually didn't give it that explicit instruction, and that is what's so good about this prompt structure. It's very resilient, very flexible, very adaptable. Number 2, and very important, is this really the voice that tells people who my brand is and what I stand for? Well, probably not. So go to voice, go to the voice library, find your own. We've found our own, and we're happy to share. We have it in other videos. For now, this is up to you. Go play around with it. And number 3, functions. Your business has its own CRM, its own types of clients. You use your own types of platforms, and that's very important to understand. We have a lot of flexibility with Make and with what we integrate, but what you need is going to be very different from what the next person needs. What we specialize in is figuring out within your business where can voice agents have the most impact and the most benefit with the platforms that you're already using. So whether you want to build these for yourselves or for your business, feel free to book a call below and we can brainstorm or dive straight into a project. We're happy to help. This appointment setter is only the beginning of your journey with voice agents. So ask yourself, how far can you take this? What other use cases can you come up with? So remember, never stop prompting.